the podcast that doesn't need the exospecs to be good. Anyway, as always, I'm your host, Chase, and we got Patrick with me.
What's up, everyone? Just want to say, Dan is not a bad guy. We'll get into that. I don't know. Some people might think so, but we'll just get into that.
All right. So let's just jump into it, then. Let's just go there.
Dan, okay, so last week, it seemed like, and maybe when Steve was going on other podcasts, maybe it sounded like, they were just like the Dan bash, but
Gotcha.
this is what, okay, let me just say that if you, let's say, treat someone not in the best way in terms of, let's say, belittling, condescending, just being, I don't know, you can call it gamesmanship if you want, but everybody saw blah blah blah, and to not expect any kind of consequence or throwback or anything like that, that's kind of delusional to not think that, so like being that way to Steve, to Millie, whatever, there was gonna be some splashback, right?
Yeah.
With that being said, I think we need to know, and just they were competing for $1,000.
Yeah.
So it can get very I don't want to say intense. That's one word. I like to say Dan does gamesmanship, like get in your head type of thing. You were mentioning that, and thinking about it more. If you take apart take away the fact that he's like 6'6", big dude, standing tall, you know what I mean? He could just be intimidating, and he's a very his voice carries, and he sometimes his humor might not carry. You might think it's serious.
Mm-hmm.
All that, and then you see little Steve, or you see little Emilio, and then you see these two guys not really either fighting back or saying anything, so it looks bad.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's not, right? Because even after all of that, they hugged Emilio. Even after you cut the feed for the Emilio Dan, they were like, they were shaking hands or just joking around and everything. So, I think that what they only saw, it's kind of like one of those, oh, you didn't see what happens when the camera. So it's almost like Dan does it as an act in the actual game. But when all that's off, oh my God, he is super. I mean, nicest guy that I know. He's always been good to me. Like when we went out that Thursday night when he came, picked him up, we went to get food. Dude, we were there. David, Shane, Michael Hart, and we had a good time. There's not, there's a difference between him as a person and him as a player. Him as a player, gonna win. And some people might perceive that the wrong way. When I was younger, and when I wanted to had a chip on my shoulder, I wanted to prove myself in other games. I was the same way too. Maybe I was, maybe it doesn't look that way because he's 6'6".
Yeah.
So there's a big difference. But he is every bit the ambassador of the game, and really what the game needs, right?
Yeah.
Because he's a comic guy. He likes the game. He likes to promote the game. He likes to run events. He likes to play, and he likes to travel. Does everything. So I think he gets probably a little bit of flack just from what happened last week, but I don't think anything less.
No, and that's what I even said on the podcast last week. I told him, like, we talked like right after, and he's like, "Are you upset?" And I was like, "No, dude, you're good." I mean, I know what it is, but see, he has a big personality and he has a lot of showmanship. So even when we're kind of hanging out and stuff like that, like Dan can kind of be the center of attention, and that's great. And so I think that kind of carried.
He's the tallest, and the biggest.
Yeah, you gravitate toward him, and he has he's not cowering down. He's like, "Hey, what's going on? Blah blah blah. How you doing?" And that's just how Dan is. And like I said, I even told him after, like, "Dude, I got love for you, dude. You're all good." I mean, I've hung out with him in a short amount of time, but it's always been good. I mean, he just had a few moments there.
Yeah, and he can be intimidating if you aren't used to maybe playing at a high level like that.
Yeah.
But like let's say I just remember last year he was playing Easton in the finals, and like none of the tactics or whatever that he was doing, even if he was doing that, was even like registering with Easton. They were just playing, and Easton was just focused on whatever he was trying to do. Didn't listen to any of the peripherals. But maybe some people who aren't used to it, and then maybe they're like, "Whoa," maybe taken aback. So I think that's just what I think people need to know, that he's a really good guy to play. He's a good guy to play against.
Yeah.
You just gotta know. Obviously he doesn't want to lose.
Yeah.
So, but
I mean, he came across the country to do this and everything else too, and I can understand it being intense and stuff like that. It wasn't. And I'll still say it, the way he acted wasn't the best. And I said it before. I'll say it now, and I think maybe he understands that too. So.
Yeah. So, whatever. I mean, but then again, right? You're playing for like $1,000.
Yeah.
Even at the Rock Cup 4,000, and he it's whatever. So anyway, I think I hope that I hope that's we'll get into that, but I hope that clears the air with people hating on him a lot. I mean, they only see what they see on the stream, right? But then when the stream cut off, it's different because the game's over.
And the other thing too is, like you said too, what's that? Yeah.
It's like yelling cut, and then it's way different.
Oh, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
The other thing too is I can understand that too, because everyone wanted to get an opinion on it, and so across all of the media platforms, like you said earlier, Steve's doing the tour, and so Steve, what do you think of Steve? So if anybody was tuning in that week, and everyone's going back to look at it, so yeah, I get that for sure.
Are you gonna cut the finals and the semis?
I started working on it. It's a mess because of all the start, and then I end up having to download it off of YouTube, and it's still kind of a mess. So
yeah, because I know people have been asking, and I was like, we'll we can do it.
Yeah, I'm trying.
You have to just. I think if you could just cut where it started and ended between the two and just let it go, who cares?
Yeah, that's.
Been with it.
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I was trying to, So the other thing was just when I actually had time to set up doing it, and then I went to go do it. And I'm like, oh, I got to download all off of Facebook.
Yeah, I know, for a long time. But so the 12 days of Clicksmas.
Man, there's just so much good stuff right now.
So now that people, I know that one of the big things that people were complaining about at Worlds was there was nothing about Rock, WizKids, about just about anything, right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, well, what's going on? And now, Howard started putting those announcements up, and they're on number
7. I think they're at number 7. Yeah, it's number 7 right now. I'm on it right now. Today's was the Rock maps are on sale.
Yeah. So as you guys, everyone knows now, Jay is the head judge.
Mm-hmm. Good for Jay.
Yeah, it's good for him. It gives me time to do the Open Series, which we'll get into. But also with that, he's going to be doing the judge, taking over the judge program with the tests and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a few changes through to this. Man, they keep saying merger. I don't even think it's a merger.
I'm not really sure what to make of it completely. It's just
a partnership.
Yeah, it's a partnership. It seems like they've adopted some rules.
Because
they tried to streamline some stuff, but some stuff is still Rock only, which I thought was a little. I didn't like.
Mergers, it's not all one, because they have a separate map list for Rock events and they have a separate map list for WizKids.
That's my biggest one right there.
It's more like a partnership. So it's just basically, if you look at it, it's WizKids throwing in the Connellys to kids, and then that's
the Rock adopting some of the WizKids wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the things, Rock Age is gone.
The Majestix Age is what we call that now.
Well, the Oreo base thing. Well, the Majestix Age is the Banlist, but the Rock Age with the Oreo base, that's gone. Limited is gone too, and those two things are, to me, what identified which was the identity of The Rock. Besides the money and stuff, like that's the identity, because otherwise you're just playing WizKids Modern.
Yeah.
So
well, there was that. There was a feeling that people could contribute to getting what they wanted through The Rock. You know what I mean? Like if you met Howard and you knew Howard, or you knew everybody, and or like enough of a calling for something was there. They put up polls like, "What do you guys want?"
Yeah.
There's no such thing with the WizKids. So it was almost felt like it was a players circuit. Where there's a point where it was made for the players who want to play.
It's funny. The tagline in the beginning, very first year, was "Made for players by players."
Yeah,
that's what it was. But they took out a bunch of things, right? Well, I guess those are the two main ones.
Well, wait, what are the two main ones?
They took out the limited and took out Rocket.
Yeah, There's other rule changes though.
Yeah, but now you can play. If you look at these, they have these like you can get a win a map and do your own thing, right? So you can like, oh well, we want to do Rock Age. You buy the win a map, you can still do it. That's all fine and good. But if you want to run like the regional or states, or I don't even know, are they even called? It's just qualifier and regional now or whatever. But you want to do those, you have to follow. I believe you have to follow what the format is, which is 300 modern. Now they added 400 modern, which personally I will not play. Don't count on me playing 400 modern. Here's the reason. They have come out and said they've tested only 300 points. When they do their testing, it's within a 300 point game.
Mm-hmm.
When you add 100 points to it or 200, whatever, those are variables that you can't account for, and the balancing issues that you can't account for because you're adding another 100 points.
Okay.
Case in point, last year we added 400. We did 400 limited last year. Okay, 400 limited at the Rock Cup. This was one of the qualifying days. Every team in the top 8 of that thing was either Unimine at full or Unimine at 275 plus stuff.
So yeah,
that's it. Now, and Adam won with full Unimine because why the hell? Why not?
There's an issue with going to higher point games while not extending the time.
Yes, agreed. We did limited last year, so it was actually easier because there's not all the extra stuff. Now it's 400 modern with all this extra stuff. It's already taking a lot of time now with all the things going on. Now we have another 100 points, and the time restriction. Oh my goodness, I can't. And just like I don't know. I mean, I would like to see. I'd be like one of those, that. It's like, there's 2 trains coming, and you're like, you were like, oh, I don't want to look. And then you're like,
yeah.
That's what I feel like when like the first 400 modern comes. It's like that. Because there's a lot of, I think, balancing issues.
There's balancing issues, and there's too many pieces that are high points that are just gonna do really well by not being able to kill them.
Here's another one. Another thing with that, because you have 400 points, can you imagine like your theme team and your like starting area goes to like the middle of the map now because you added another 100 points? You can add another 10 giant girls or whatever it is.
You mean because of the way that Chris ruled how?
Well, but you see how now with the expanded starting zones with a lot of the teams now to begin with. Now you add 100 points to that, which is more Colossals, more whatever, more Mollies, more Dune Buggies.
Yeah, all the Dune Buggies.
It's gonna get big. It's just gonna the board is just gonna get bigger and bigger, and then now it's just gonna get way too complicated. I think that I think that's a serious issue. Maybe I'm wrong. But then when
I mean, it has a lot of issues with it. I mean, it's just that there's nothing set to what that's going to be.
Yeah. And now if they said in future sets they're going to be testing 400 points, then sure. But since they've changed how they've done their things, it's only been 300 points. Because when you do sealed, it's 300 points. So a lot of times when they do their testing, it's also for sealed balance. So there's that, and then they changed, like a minor one is they just made it, instead of last round, it's last action again.
I still hate that.
Which is, what's that?
I hate it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of people. I think it's both. If you look at the feedback, it's kind of like 50-50. I think slightly. I think it's I don't know. They probably both have their merits, but I because WizKids and I've played in WizKids events, it's always been last action.
Yeah,
it's really
it's a time
me.
thing.
Yeah, it's actually never really bothered me. I get it, but just from a balancing thing, where like you should both get the same amount of turns.
Yes.
Whether or not the same amount of time, that's another.
Well, and that's my issue with behind it.
You
Say
can't
that again.
have you play 3 turns and I play 2. Yeah. That's not fair.
Well, that's the big issue too. Is so one of my biggest things, like you said, both get fair amount of turns, and then if you win map roll, especially if you guys, neither of you have a theme team, and you just go 50-50 roll it and you win. So now you get to go first turn for the tempo. You get to pick the map, and now there's a 50% chance that you might also get the last round.
Yeah.
Come on.
The last action.
Yeah, sorry. And then that's the other thing too, the way, so I was told in the last event I'm doing too, so last action means I don't get to make another action if I'm just in the middle of something.
Yes, that's what it is. Yep. Yeah. It's if you declared running shot and they call last action, that's only you can do is running shot. You can't be like, oh well, I needed to perplex my guy first. Like, no, you said the running shot. That's your last. That's you have to be you have to be in the middle of an action.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, maybe they rule different places, but I know that if you declare that you're doing a running shot, and they call like I'm gonna do a running shot, okay, and then you're gonna think about where you're gonna place, and they call last action, you get to do your running shot because you had already declared that you were doing it. It's not that time, and you go, you know what? They called time. I'm gonna declare a running shot.
Yeah, exactly.
It's I declare a running shot, and they call time. Then you could do that. But that's something that I don't think it's that big a deal. So it could go either way. But I know that other games they usually make it so you have the same amount of time or turn or time or whatever.
Yeah.
But one of the other things that they were did you see that I don't know if you saw the states, it's $225 for the kit, which is basically $25 more than it was last year. But there's a Chase and Prime Mighty Thor in each one.
Yes. That's
crazy. That's 50 Prime Chase and where did these come from? We've had 2.
I mean, they can still reprint those.
No. That's it. They don't make it. They only make one print run. They make one print run for all things. But that means these were like.
Are you saying but they still have the molds, so they can still do it because they still make molds for figures they redo.
They don't. Talk to Howard. These are what they've had in their warehouse. This is they have these factory sets. They have these Chase and Prime sets. They have all these things in their wherever. Whatever they make is what they make. They don't do another print run. Yeah, I know that for sure because if they did do another print run, how come we haven't? How come we don't have another Mighty Thor boosters coming out?
Well, they wouldn't do the full. I thought they would just do a run of those things just for.
No, that makes no sense. That makes no, absolutely not, because they didn't know they were going to do this. That's just something that they've had. When they have these things, like when people get their factory sets and people get their Connellys, they just have these. They make an X amount and they just have them to give out. So whatever's left over is whatever's left over. And if they find that these are left over, then these are left over. It's just the same thing as when Alliance contacts me and say, hey, we found 10 cases of Wolverine after Wolverine X-Men was gone. It's the same thing. They just find hey, we found these in the house.
Interesting.
And
it's interesting they have that amount though ready because
It's like,
because
wow.
they don't know how many events are going to be. Well, I
No.
guess technically, no, they did it for states, right? Is that what you said?
Doing it for states, but I think you.
So
But
technically, they do know.
no. So I think you need to really realize this. They didn't make these just for states. This is
No, I
something
know.
that
That's what I'm saying.
and Howard was able to add on to states.
Gotcha.
You know, that's just like it's just like that. But now obviously they're gonna have to see if they can fit enough.
So why? I have a question. You said it's $25 more for the kit this year.
Yeah, because if I remember what I saw, it said $225 for the kit. Normally it's $200. So think about it, it's $25 and you get Jason Prime set to draft within where to the players. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, no, I'm just more surprised that it's more expensive since he doesn't have to save the money for.
Oh, it's not them. Well, they're not going to give it to him for free.
I understand, but it just seems like it would be less money than what he would be trying to save up for the Rock Cup. Like the pool of money that he has to earn through all these events throughout the year to save up for the Rock Cup, where he gives away all that money, which he's not giving away now. So yeah. I thought the kits would have went down because it seems like it's still a lot cheaper to, if WizKids have given him it even at cost, or not, I mean less or a little over cost.
Well, now instead of losing money, he's making money. That's just better. I mean, instead of making like 10% margin, now your margin's like 30 or 40% now because you don't have to give out the money.
Yeah.
So that's.
I didn't think the kit would have gone up though.
What's that?
I didn't think the kit would go up.
Well, it will go up because the precedent is there. We talked about this. Remember, Nick said this is why you don't lower the price. The precedent is there, $200. If you increase it to $25 more and you see the value that's coming in, the organizers and the players are going to see. They're going to go, for $25 more, we get to see a Chase and Prime set in each one. Sign me up. That's just smart. That's what that's what you should be doing. That just means he gets to keep up more of that money, that's cool because he's doing a lot of work. He's also probably has to pack all of those kits instead of WizKids doing it. There's a difference. So now they just like, hey, we're just gonna ship it to you in a pallet. You handle it. Whereas before they had to ship it. So
yeah,
that is. So it is a cost for him also because he has to do the work.
His shipping's probably gone up a little bit too if he has to ship all that stuff in there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's probably not going to go up that much.
Not too much. That's true.
Because it's a Chase and Prime set.
It's more of a weight. It's because it's more weight. And that's not that much more weight.
Let's say it's 10 ounces more. It's not going to affect it.
Yeah.
Now here's so there's the map thing, right? The map monthly subscription.
Mm-hmm.
Dang, that's makes me want to do the brick box now. But because a lot of people are doing it. But do you remember Wes Summers? Or do you remember? He's not.
I've seen him on Facebook, but I've never met him.
So I think he stopped playing, but he's part of Team Stratagem before. He was originally, with like Howard Easton, those guys.
Yeah.
He started HC Atlas.
Okay.
Which is basically the same thing, except he's the one designing the maps. It looked like the look is very different. It's kind of cool. It's like the same material and everything, but he used the money he won from the Rock Cup in 2015 to start up the HC Atlas subscription program. It was for all intents and purposes pretty good. Like, I'm sure he had a lot of people sign up. I think the problem was he couldn't keep up with demand, or there were just problems with printing or cost or whatever, and then he ended up having to let it go and like refund people stuff. But now they're doing it through gamer mats. That's it seemed like he had a good idea. It's just a couple years ahead of his time, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like they figured out the logistics a little better.
Yeah, and having it being basically official because the designer is the actual guy doing the designer for the WizKids map is the guy doing this.
For the rock maps now?
I mean, yeah, it's been the same guy.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So that's where, like, and that was one of the things that I looked at as, like, one of the biggest reasons for him to do this, because now he has this ability that everyone's going to want these maps now. Yeah. And it just, like, even if he didn't make any money off the rock, the maps is where, you know what I mean? That's where, all the reason why you do it.
Yeah, also because it's like the legitimacy of it now, because they're legal. Mm-hmm. Like it's gonna get more. So get into that. There's separate map lists for
this. I talked to Howard about it. I didn't get it. He told me that these are still really popular, and I was like, that doesn't make sense though. So I want a ban on the underground. That's all it is. Gosh damn.
Now, do you remember we were saying about did you message him directly or did he message you?
No, he accidentally messaged me. Like we were messaging each other on the public forum, on the whatever, like on the comment section.
He's not a moron. He's like, let me message you directly.
Well, so I think he posted most of it back up on there.
He did, but like I'm on there. I saw when he messaged you. So I mean it was like done. And I'm like, that's why you should do it that way. Anyway. The Rock still has the underground, right? The underground and a couple, I think, forget a couple other ones, but the underground is the big one.
I just wish he would have went with the same as them and just be done with it. One map list. That was the whole point of all this. One uniform thing. This is my biggest beef with it. I don't like the last action, but this is my biggest beef.
Okay, so the other one too, and this is why it's going to be really hard for me to even play. Like, I feel like I wouldn't even play in any of these events anymore because the Strange Days, Hedge Maze, and the Ultimate Sacrifice are not good for the. It's not good for the game. It's not good for the format. And those are what's legal, and also the Best Friends Forever, the 4 Points gaming map.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at that one.
It's just like having no regulation on the design on these are like, in terms of like balance and stuff, kind of hurts. Yeah. Because I know as egregious as the underground is, it's popular, but like having to.
Well, it's popular because. Because when you can abuse it, it eliminates so many teams from that you have to deal with.
I think that both those formats is gonna be rough, man, because the Ultimate Sacrifice, I don't know, you guys haven't seen this Ultimate Sacrifice, man. It is a motherfucker. It is open air with, imagine anybody who played Ryut, imagine open air on top of that. It's, oh my god. The Hedge Maze, the Hedge Maze is an outdoor version of.
And the other thing too is like, even right, WizKids never banned anything, but they banned maps. Like, I just wish they were banned. That's all I'm asking for. Like, that's why I said what I said. The biggest thing is I still want to play at a rock event. I want to, whatever, but I don't want to have to build my team around underground because that's what you have to do.
You're thinking as a player. He's thinking as a businessman. He can sell those maps.
For players by players.
But it's not anymore because he's with WizKids, so it's not.
Fair enough.
He's because he can make money selling these, because like if these maps aren't legal, then all the maps that were printed at Gamer Mats is just sitting there not selling. So I get it, right? Because like let's say they made, I don't know, let's say he put in an order of like 200 maps, and then you say, okay, underground's not legal. What do you do with those 200 maps?
Well, here's the question: is so you can still buy the underground?
I think so.
Because I remember I thought it was like Tony telling me, he's like, I don't really want to. I'm looking right now. I really don't want to try to spend $200 on the underground right now because nobody has it or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. You have to look it up.
I'm gonna look right now.
I haven't looked. But one of the other issues that I saw with the map subscription thing, and Aaron actually brought it up. It's a good point. So I want to know, what do you think about this? there's a shipping cost issue that if you really break it down and how he puts it out there, it makes sense. So they are based in Illinois, right?
Mm-hmm.
Dan lives in Indiana.
Yep.
Aaron lives in California.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think the shipping cost is between the two?
Wait, that's not just added into the thing?
No. Let me answer that for you. It's double. So,
I've done shipping stuff like that, and it shouldn't even be double.
So now check this out. On one side, if you're Gamer Mats, you go, well, we have to pay the shipping company to ship it out there.
Yeah.
Okay. He lives in Indiana, so it's only going to cost $9 to go there because it's close. You live in California. It's going to cost $18 to ship there because it's farther. So obviously it's scaled, right? Here's the problem. When this is something where it's legal in a competitive format where there's like high-level pricing involved, the playing field is basically not level because the people who live farther away have to. I can just imagine. I can just hear like the Brazilians and.
That's what I was about to say. I'm like, these guys are like, shut up.
Just laughing. They're like, you guys like, not even how we feel, like whatever.
And then times 100 for them.
Like I get it. I get it. Aaron makes a good point, and this is what they've been saying for a long time too. It's kind of like
this right now. So Gamer Mats. So in the subscription, it's not already set up.
No, you have to pay the shipping. Shipping's extra.
See, that's weird because I bought 2 play mats, right? Custom. They're $25 each, and at $50, it was free shipping. I think it was just free shipping either way, and that was from their competitor.
Oh, it's not Gamer Mats. Wait, they're not Gamer Mats. Mm-hmm. So.
But they're supposed to be. I don't know.
But this is official. Like this is official now, so that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter where you got it from. If you got it from the back of a fucking truck, this is what they're doing, so that doesn't matter. But
and I'm just surprised they're doing it that way.
What do you think about that? About what Aaron's point is?
Well, I mean, it is a good point. Like, I don't understand why they don't just come with flat shipping anyway. Either way, like you said, it is official. $10 shipping. Done. Like, figure it out. I don't know. I guess it's because there's too many hands. Gamer Mats has to make the profit while Howard has to make his profit. So it's not, because I bet you anything it was just through Gamer Mats, they would just figure out a way to make the shipping work.
So he actually makes a good point. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal because I think if people really want it, they're going to get it. But he does bring up a point. It's like each time I got to order, I got to pay basically $10 more than every other person each time I do it.
Yeah.
It adds up. So I get it. But I wonder if there's anything that can be done about it because the shipping is what it is. But you're right. There should be a flat thing.
It'd be just $12, and that way it covers it for everybody or something like that. And
so fair. But then
and by the way, Indiana, you want to know not fair really quick, by the way. Now that this is legal, the rock map, the underground is not on there. And on eBay, there's one for $120 and one for $200.
The underground is not on the thing? But it's not a... Okay, well then, I'm definitely not playing now.
Yeah, it's $120 for the underground. Free shipping, though. Thank you, eBay.
Are you sure it's not Lucky Dice?
9155.
It's not Lucky Dice?
Mm-mm. No, that's messed up. No, it's shipping.
But whatever, man. I guess it's not gonna matter because I'm just gonna worry about our series.
Yeah, we gotta do something. You gotta help these West Coasters out anyway, right?
I know, yeah, for sure.
We gotta do something.
Let's have just a little bit of our Open Series post-mortem. It was pretty successful. I think it ran pretty smooth, right? We had some technical issues.
other than the streaming issues.
But the feedback that I've been getting, they're like, dude, who did all the overlays and all the like there was basically the multiple cameras were a huge hit.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that
was one of the big things. Like I've talked about stuff like that, but this is one I remember you being like, I really want that. And I was like, all right, let's get it. I'll make it happen then.
Wait, or else all you're seeing are hands.
Yeah,
that's it. And we need to see who these people are.
Well, and you also saw the difference. So when we just tried to post the games through using my phone, because then I had my own separate connection, and we were just going long ways so we could get it because. Yeah. For some reason, Facebook won't do landscape mode on a phone for live, but
I know.
Everyone keeps asking for it. But I don't know. Obviously, there's a coding issue or something. But anyway, long story short, we were going long and we were having like 5 people watch. But then if we go and when we had the stream actually up in the moments where it was up and running the first day or even the day before, when it was working perfectly at night, we got. We weren't supposed to be up and we got 15, 20 people. And then I think on the day of the stream, on the final day on the top 4, we hit 40 at least once.
Yeah.
And that was with, I think, everyone already being like, is this actually going to work? People kind of tuned out at that point. So I'm kind of excited for next year because I think it's going to be a much bigger amount.
Well, I mean, in February, we can start again.
Mm-hmm.
Play some Pasadena. But I like having that co-main event running at the same time. It was cool because it made it a better event. Like it's not just like 8 of them there. You know what I mean? There's like a whole bunch of other people playing battle royals, playing in the main event, the top. You know what I mean? So it was nice to have that. We had 19 players. It's one of these days we're gonna break like 25. All right, as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by
more technical issues. It heard you talking shit about it, and it started.
I think you're that's your nickname. Technical
difficulty.
Ooh, that's an euphemism. Well, maybe that's not good. So I think we can do double main event, but it would require us to run a co-main event either on Friday or Sunday. Meaning we do let's say we do how this time we did the co-main event on Saturday and then Sunday was a lab. But when we do the Invitational, I want it to be a whole how the Rock Cup was, where it was 3 days long and it was all the way until the evening time. Whereas the Sunday event would maybe be the teams, the 3v3 teams, or the co-main, the co-main event for the modern for the next event, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess that we got a year to figure that out. But
you could even run because on Friday, right? When everybody gets in and we start the event, you can just do a draft event, so people can play draft that way if they wanted to.
No, but those are just going to be running battle royals. It's when we get 4 people sign up, we go. I'm talking about 3v3 and then a co-main event.
Yeah. I was just thinking just something quick at night because on Friday you're not probably going to want to run a late event on top of the draft event that's already going.
No, but remember it's supposed to be a 3-day thing like how it was before, where they would start at 10 a.m. on Friday. You know what I mean? So people would have to get in on Thursday night. Remember when the qualifiers that you played on was on Friday?
Yeah. So that's what you want to do? I didn't realize you wanted to do a 10 a.m. thing.
Well, that's what the Invitational is going to be. It's because we have to replace it now.
Yeah.
But that's what I was thinking. Just basically how he had it, because it's going to be at the Marriott.
Yeah.
We have the room. Everything's there. We just since we have the hookup, it's going to be cheaper.
I think on Saturday you should do the 3v3 though. I think that's when the most people will be there.
Yeah, that's what I said. Maybe we do that, but either way, it's just having 2. It doesn't matter. Just have 2 so that there's more things to do, and then the main event still run the 3 days. It's just if the Friday event is going on before we do the first 3 rounds of the main event, so that those players can play in the co-main too. You know what I mean? The qualified players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So let's say we start at 12 o'clock. and we're gonna run all the way up until like 6, and then we just do the like the draft portion at 7:00. And they should, it'll be they can, the qualified players can also play in the co-main, which is basically what it was before at the Rock Cup. There was it was called the Last Chance Super Qualifier.
Yeah.
And even though I was already qualified, I just played and I played my fun team, and we just played strictly for prizing, because I'm already qualified for the next day. So we could do that again. It also just means we get to play more formats, just more Heroclix, right? But speaking of the Open Series 2019, we have a bunch of places already basically soft committed. Like two of them already clicked the click to purchase, even though I don't have the link up yet because we wanted to. But the goal is to get about 20 venues. We want to get, if you look on our openseries.majestixccg.com, for those of you watching on YouTube, can you share the page by any chance?
Yeah, I can. I mean, I can just put it in the link in the when I write.
No, can you share it right now? Like, can you, instead of you, can it be the screen? No, because you can do that.
I think there's a way to do that. I don't know how. Let me see. You keep talking. I'll see what I can do.
Technical difficulties, guy. But basically, I'll just read off what it says. 2019 season begins February. We're looking for at least 20 venues to host Open Series qualifiers throughout the country. Please message the Majestix Facebook page if you're interested, or message Chase and I. We will have 2 or 3 different exclusive maps only for the Open Series. Oh, there you go.
Is it working?
Yeah, nice. See, there you go. Nice. Each kit will have 8 maps. And now here's the difference. 4 of the maps will be neoprene. 4 of the maps will be the paper. But you said that you can basically duplicate that high gloss paper, right?
Yes. This way, there's also a difference between the top 4 and everybody else.
It also helps keep the cost down.
It is the biggest cost in the kit is the maps.
And then it also, you're still getting the maps anyway. There are two kit options. There's the $400 option, the $500 option for the venues. One basically includes about a $100 travel voucher or a brick of the newest set. As usual, the travel voucher is to be redeemed at the Invitational itself in December. Now here's where we changed a couple things. Remember last year, only the winners got in, so only like 10 guys got in.
Yeah.
This time, actually, we have on the actual page, they have the Open Series. We have the Open Series point system, and each player will need 30 Open Series points or a qualifier win to play in the Invitational main event in December. Where players will compete for a $3,000 prize purse. Now, how many points do I get? Blah, blah, blah. Whenever you enter one of these qualifiers, the top 8, because that's where we do the cuts to top 8, you're going to get anywhere from 7 points to 20 points. So first place is 20, second 17, 14, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7. Ninth place and on, you're going to get points based off of your wins. So if you finish 9th place and you had 3 wins, you're going to get 5 points. If you finish 9th place and you got 2 wins, you'll get 3 points, and so forth. Now, when there are events that don't quite hit the top 8 cut, like let's say only 17 players showed up or 16 or 15, which hopefully won't happen. 5th place and on will receive points based on their win total. So the top 4 will still receive their points, 20, 17, 14, 12. But 5th on will be based on your points. So like 5th place got 3 wins, they'll get 5 points. And that's because you keep giving points to the elimination rounds. Now if you get so you get 30 points. So basically, Nick and I were looking at this, and you get 2 second place finishes, you get a 2nd place and a 3rd place finish, you got your 30 points.
Yeah.
So that means you earned it. Because we want players to earn it. There's no point buying. You're not buying any points. This is just we'll have a spreadsheet. It'll be Actually, on the page, there's a thing that says rankings, and that'll be populated by everybody's performance.
Now, if the event runs like a co-main event, will you put points into that as well?
That is an option. Yeah, I think we will, but I think it'll be strictly on your wins. Because
I like that.
Yeah. So that way,
it will be a qualifier. And now here's my question: why are you giving points out for first place if they just qualify either way?
Now, segue. The last sentence on the announcement. We will have a rankings page for those dedicated enough to compete in the circuit. In the circuit. Damn it. And
it wasn't edited. Editor.
I know. I'll change all this. And at the end of the season, we will crown the Player of the Year. So here we go. At the end of the season, the player with the most Open Series points will be crowned Player of the Year and receive free entry into any and all qualifier events the following year. In addition, he or she will receive a case of the newest set, a Player of the Year pin, and a trophy to boot. So, if you just want to qualify for the invitational, you get 20 points and you win. Cool, you could be done. But you want to get that Player of the Year, you're gonna keep grinding. So this is how Star City Games does their thing. I know a lot of the guys that I've talked to that have seen this, they're really excited for the Open Series point system because someone like Rob Gallagher, Tony, here's one. Tony won, he won the third or fourth
Arizona,
right? But he played in another 3. So he was like, well, I can't qualify anymore, so I'll just play my fun stuff. And he didn't care about top 8ing or not because he's like, I'm already qualified. Now there's incentive for him to keep going. And it also for the venues, and this is kind of, I'm gonna be, I'm still working on the page to give the organizers more sales pitch. But with the Open Series point system, the players are still gonna go to all these events.
Yeah.
So as an organizer, you're still gonna draw players, even if they qualified already, because they will want to get the Open Series points. Now we're probably gonna scale down. I mean, I think this will probably change throughout the year depending on how many players we get. But I could price down to the top 4. The Player of the Year gets all that. Well, let's say second place gets a brick. Third place gets a brick. Fourth place gets some. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean of the rankings?
Yeah, it just depends on how many players show up to these events. So right now, this is what we have. But let's say by June, and we're like, man, this is really good. Then I'll add an announcement that says the Player of the Year race is blah blah blah. It's heating up, but we're adding prizing to second, third, and fourth.
Yeah.
More, you know what I mean? Now we talk about the kit. $400, $500. Supports 32 players. $25 entry for $400. $30 entry for $500. It's just basically cheaper, better than it was last year. If you're an organizer, because now we're making the kits ourselves, so it's going to be we don't have to pay anybody other than making it. The $25 entry, if you get 16 players, which is most places can get 16 or more. That's should be the baseline 16. You're breaking even. $400, 16 players, $25 entry. It's $400. So the stores that are thinking about running this, if their baseline is 16, it's nothing, because even if they get 16, they don't have to give any additional pricing. And then if the store has product, battle royales, snacks, any other things, then they get more money. Yeah. So it's just more, because people always do battle royale. You can always go through bricks upon bricks as long as you have the stock. And then and if you want to put hey, we're gonna add store credit for this many players, they can tier it. If we get 16 players, we're gonna add $20 store credit for first. If we get 20, we'll add this, and and you scale it out. But I expect at least 20 at most of these events now, because people want to play different formats now, because as we talked about with the Rock and the WizKids Open, it's only modern. So the format for this is our Majestix age, which I think maybe we should probably stick to comic terms, either Copper Age or Bronze Age. Something like that, you know what I mean? Or Silver Age if we really want to go that way.
I mean, we could do, you just do Silver Age, right?
Yeah, Silver Age. I think
Silver Age with Banlist.
If you call it Golden Age one more time, we're gonna have problems. He always mentions Golden Age. I was like, I don't like Golden Age, I got to think about Golden Age now. I'm like, George, it's not Golden Age. But I get what he's saying. But the contents for the kit, we got a trophy, 8 maps, 16 dice cups, 64 dice, 80 action bystander tokens. So the dice cups are something that I've gotten feedback on. You guys can see on the actual page. It's our logo. It's going to be green felt. Anybody who's had the HC Realms ones, which were really, really popular, we're going to have them again. And the bystander tokens are going to have, our little sayings like Perplexity Attack, Keep Calm, You Have Prob. And then also some of the useful like bystander tokens that you can use, like Walking Woods, Leslie Evans, and Royal Hatchling and stuff. And then the maps are, the first map we have is the Light Cycle Battle Arena. And then hopefully as it goes on, we can add more things like custom line of fire laser, those straight line lasers. Mm-hmm. We could do that. The little I like calling them the Heroclix condoms, but basically they're to mark your, for example, if you're playing Penguin and you want to mark your figure to have the loyalty token, you would put this little plastic thing underneath to mark that they have it. Or if you're playing Shredder Clone and you want to mark who has the Duel of Twisted Honor, you mark it that guy. Normally you just tell them, or they put a mark on their card, but it's easier visually to put it on the actual figure itself. Heroclix Accessories used to do this, but I don't think he does it anymore. So we have to try to fill that void, and we'll be looking at that. We'll have another map or two throughout the year. I know we have the next one. The next one's already going to be starting up in the new year. I'm excited for what it is, and that's basically it. I know that the plaques and trophies are a big deal, so we'll do trophy. It's not going to be a plaque; it's actually going to be a trophy. So it might not be the most fancy one because we got to make a lot of it. We got to keep the cost down, but it's going to be a trophy. And we probably should look at. Oh, and this is another one. The winner, we will actually have special. I know people like to have the pins, the top 8 pins.
Mm-hmm.
People having the top 8 pins, which is cool. But the that's something that's going to add to the cost. But what we can do in lieu of that are make the poker chips with their actual top 8. It's like how we have their bystander tokens. It'll say top 8 or it'll say winner, and it'll be custom so that they know that they won. So you can actually use it in the game. So should be I think it should be a good start.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is you can run the format. There's the formats that we want to run. The store gets to run the format they want to run, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be, the default is going to be Majestix Age, but the co-main event will be Modern Age, and they can flip the two if they want. I'm gonna have that. But we really want to do Majestix Age because that's the format that the Open Series is known for. But also, if you want to play Modern Age, you got WizKids Open and Rock events all over the place. You got states.
Yeah.
If you want to try something else, then try this. Not to say that you're not going to play Modern for this because the co-main events will be Modern.
Well, would you be willing to do a co-main event at Modern Limited?
No. I think Limited is basically done. It was an experiment that didn't really catch on. So, and I can see why they took that out. Because if you think about it, WizKids, it's Modern Limited, right? They're not playing any of the old stuff. They're playing the new stuff. But I think it's just didn't have the kind of. I think the problem would be there would be too much of the same thing. like you would just see full Goblin King, full Unimind. You know what I mean? With no answers, like no ID cards or anything.
Yeah.
Because I remember the last time we did limited, which was last year, it was literally Jakeem, Goblin King, Unimind. That's it. And then there was like a smattering of shredders. Maybe. So it got pretty boring pretty quick. So I think that's something that it was a nice entry level for players, but it just probably didn't pan out. I know Aaron's not gonna like hearing that because he loves limited. That's his format.
He was talking about the other day.
Yeah, but it's all right. We'll see how this all plays out. Now the actual end game, or one of the main things that I to go along with that Player of the Year thing. There's this. They just announced this on Magic Arena or Magic Online or whatever, or the Arena. They're having a Magic Pro League. So they have like 32 players and they play in a league, and these are the best players, and they do a league, just like the NFL, NBA, whatever. And then people, it's like the best of the best, and you compete for pricing, whatever. I think it would be nice to have something like that at some point, where let's say we get like the 16 top players, and we play like in a like a 3-month league or whatever, or we did something where they played in a league where they'd have to play everybody, and then the playoffs, just exactly how you would expect this in a league, so that you can actually see who the best players are. And I think that would be cool. But the only way that would work is if we get like streaming up, and like have multiple people. But something like this would have to be like on Rock on, right?
Because I was gonna say. So the first thing would be obviously the logistics. They're not gonna be able to travel throughout the year. I mean, that's when they already play each other at big events, and you can come and go. So it would have to be an online format. But
very good. Yeah, but we'd have to have like, the only way that this could generate that kind of interest would be if we actually had it, live streamed. People were watching and seeing these guys play. Of course, it's different.
You can do that.
Yeah, that is something, right? But just the logistics of getting 16 people.
The big thing too is, logistics. Like, all right, it's easier within the week to play, or even if you say, okay, on this time playing games, stuff like that. So
because you got
games. That's what I was going to say. And not just what, they have to be able to flip through the games if there's multiple games going at once. But at the same time, you can't just have them playing games whenever they want, because who the hell's going to judge it if they just play it?
Exactly.
So let the players judge it, or let the people that are watching judge the game.
But it's like because it's a league, they don't all have to play on the same day. So you can have like some guy playing Monday, another guy playing on Tuesday. You know what I mean? They just schedule it.
Yeah, I think the bigger problem with that, well, again, is the judge situation. So now you have a judge every day of the week.
Yeah, there would have to be, we'd have to have people like volunteers or whatever. Like, they've done it before.
Yeah.
Heroclix, like International Exchange, done it. I played in that tournament. It's a 16-man single elimination. Took a while because we had to do it over a certain amount of days.
Yeah,
I think it took 2 weeks to get it done, and the winner was like it was a brick. So,
well, it would be kind of cool if you did something like, I don't know, some days are tournament days. I don't know. I would love to look into this more for sure.
Yeah, it would be, especially online, and also people want to see who's the best, right? Like, that's always kind of like what we're always trying to find out who's the best.
Another thing too is, couldn't you? Like with the different rankings and everything else, that's how you invite people. Like, you have different ways to invite people. So whether it's like the Rock Online or this or the Majestix or
these are like our expertise to,
Yeah,
the best.
but there's going to be people who are going to say that they think that they belong. So how do they get in there?
That's fine. I say that too, but fact of the matter is, if you were that good, you would belong, because there are, like, for example, like, no one's gonna argue that Dan, PJ, Easton, don't belong, right? So it's got to be like that. That's one of the ways we can do it is do like a kind of like how Lane does his the polling, where he asks 18 pundits to submit their top 15, right? And then you take the aggregate score or whatever, and then you find out who the top 15 were, and then we could just go down that list.
Oh, you know what would be awesome about this?
Or
because it's international.
Yeah, no. We can. Well, check this out.
Hey, Joe, I want to see.
That's what I'm saying. You can. But then it doesn't even have to be like we don't have to make it straight off that list. We can just invite these players ourselves. Like I can just say, you know what? I believe Pedro's on there, so Pedro will get on there. You know what I mean? Tom's gonna get on there. So
I think we have to have a way though for people to have a chance to get on there as well throughout the year.
Because so the Magic Pro League, they took 32 of the players that Wizards of the Coast thought were the best. That's it. It's their event.
Yeah.
Their league. Now, if other players wanted, because you got to start somewhere, right? You got to have a baseline. So that's the baseline, those 32. And now from there, who else can get on the league? I'm gonna watch some of that because I want to see how they do the structure because I would like to copy it.
Yeah.
Easily do some Heroclix online, especially the way that we do it better. The maps are inline, auto sizing. Oh man, so good. Anyway, dude, it's already been it's over an hour.
Well, I think we're only really at an hour because we had the downtime, and I don't think we started this till like 8 minutes of us talking to begin with. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything that I saw that I wanted to go over.
Basically, this is one big advertisement for the Open Series.
Yeah, we didn't talk about as many topics as we meant to. I'm half distracted right now because of my.
I mean, our series is coming up. It starts in February, but Jeff Bullard, he wants to do it in January, and I'm like, man, you're gonna do it before I do my first one? I don't know if I can allow that, but why not? He'll get a lot of.
Shoot,
dude, he was like him, Tyler, are like their usuals. They're like, those are the guys that are like they want to buy now.
Yeah.
Well, we're just getting the commitments. Like, oh,
yeah.
Dude, Arizona, let me tell you this. Arizona has Tucson, that's confirmed. Bob in Phoenix, confirmed. Ben in Youngtown, confirmed.
Confirmed.
Justin and Nate, those guys, confirmed. That's 4.
They want 4 in Arizona.
All different places, too. And Ben was like, can I do another one? Whoa, big man. Let's
Let's loot the pool, but I do want to see this at the same time. I mean, listen. If they're gonna back it like that, how can you really say no? Because we run within that many within LA area.
We need 20. So like, I'm waiting for Aaron. The Vegas. I talked to Dustin in Vegas. He is gonna definitely look into running it in the store because I told him, I said, if I get him his trophy, he's going to have to run one for me, and so I got him his trophy. But him and the Vegas guys will be competing in the events now.
Cool.
So that's awesome.
Well, I also know like the one guy that stopped by the shop, Kevin. We've been talking a little bit more and stuff like that, and he's in Vegas, and he's super stoked about it.
Yeah. There's Bakersfield has 1, maybe 2, because Rob Gallagher has another place that he's looking at, and so Armando's going to look at the same place too. So I'm like, dude, that's 2 in Bakersfield. And then I'm asking Game Empire in San Diego, Jay, see if we can get that. I don't know. I'm going to ask do you remember the guy, Dan and Luis, that came from Ranch Cucamonga? One of the guys, they're kind of new, but Dan Cho, he taught Ford with Pat Gordon and Green Arrow.
Yep.
I'm going to see if they want to run something at their venue over there because they're starting to ramp up over there. Tyler has already said he's in, and he said he's traveling this time, so everybody be prepared. And Hobbit's venue where he plays at. That's where they want to do. He's looking into doing that there too. So do we have a dang? This is a
the hardest part of running it is that I want to play in it. Like if Hobbit's like, yeah, I want my venue to do it. Like, are you going to judge it, or are you who's going to run it? Right? Yeah, are you going to play in it?
And then from Pacific Northwest, I got the Vancouver, Washington guy. He was the other guy that was actually wanting to pay right away because they just wanted to run one already. So we're getting one in Pacific Northwest. Hopefully we can get either the Strike Force guys or the Eagles guys. They want to run something. But I know that the Vancouver, Washington crew, they want to do something.
Well, I was excited to make sure that our event was the first big one, but I mean it will be the big one or whatever. But if they want to champion it that quick, then why say no? Let them.
Jeff, Jeff's like already he wants to do it in January because it works out that we're doing it in January, February because WizKids Open is on March. So
give something to do with all the clicks they got for Christmas.
Yeah. So and then the WizKids Opens, all they have to really do is if anybody wants to run anything in March, just check which venues are running it on which weekend and just run it on the off weekend. Mm-hmm. There's only like 2 or 3 of them. There's one in San Diego and one in Hesperia maybe, and one in Fresno. Is it?
I hope not.
You probably will. But
what was really funny too is I've been hearing from people. So technically, the way Hesperia gave away the whole issue, the access spikes, whatever, the first 16 people that were there has been so many different ways people have given it away. I've heard people just making sure that it was people whoever signed up first. It was people who did like all kinds of different stuff, and that they need to fix right now.
Yes,
WizKids need to fix that because people need to know how they're doing it.
Agreed. And that's probably something we need to do too, but I don't think we'll run into that problem.
Because we don't have anything like access. Everything else is the stuff you really want, you win. So you got to be a big boy and put your big boy pants on and play a good game all day. And then the other stuff, nothing else is really like I was the first to be there. So no, like it's all rigged.
Oh, and we talked about it last week, but there's the actual Banlist update. I'm gonna do an article and put it up. We're adding Black Swan and Omega Drive and taking off Ophidian and Zombie Super Scroll. The reason being because the Black Swan, we already talked about that. Omega Drive, and Paris actually made a really good point about this. There's just the way it's worded and the way that it was ruled and the way that it was tended, it's so silly, I guess you could say, about that you can outweigh your own guys.
Yeah, it's just so general.
There's too many interactions that you would have to make rulings on, and I'm getting questions all the time. It even came up in the semifinals. That combined with the fact that it's only 3 points, and it's a relic,
it's easy to pick up.
It's 3 through 6, not that hard. Can't destroy it. It's too strong for what it does, especially now how Outwit works. Because before it was fine, because Outwit was only something that was showing, like something that they can use, they have. But now with Outwit working on something that they don't even have yet, or not on their dial, it's too strong. Like you can outwit stop clicks. You can outwit a power they haven't chosen yet. Whereas back when this was legal, you couldn't outwit stuff they haven't chosen yet because it's because outwit was something that they can use or possess. No, it was something they possess. Sorry, something they possessed. Because if it was something that they can use something that they use and possess were two different things. Remember?
Yep.
Outwit wasn't that bad, but when they made the rules change, it's so crazy because now you can outwit stuff that's not even there. And then, of course, the whole thing with Ophidian and whatever. So because Omega Drive is on there, Ophidian now can come off it. I mean, and now we can really have even more counters to like Mystiques.
Yeah.
You got Pulse Wave.
Ophidian, yeah, and Ophidion's it's a really great piece. So
yeah, it's gonna be cool. And then Zombie Super Scroll, more Pulse Wave. We'll see. I think now with how Outwits and we've seen how like Jakeem and stuff fits in the format and Goblin King, Super Scroll shouldn't be that bad. I don't think because he'll be taking damage. You can outwit him. He still hurts again. He still gets affected by Green Battery somewhat because if he free actions to pick, he won't be able to sidestep because he has sidestep, and he won't be able to use Perplex if he has Perplex or Outwit or whatever. So still that he can still use Running Shot, but well, it's gonna be nice to see Super Scroll back in the format to see how things are, and we'll see. So,
all right.
My battery's at 9%.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably about time. I was gonna say I don't really have a lot on this episode other than what we kind of talked about. I think next week we'll definitely be talking about some more of the current news. There's some new sets that have come out. There's some, what is the format's gonna be looking like, and
one last the map list. I actually have the map list for our events. It's basically all the maps minus the rock maps, and minus rock maps, but Flashpoint Flood is on. Yeah. I actually put the list of maps so people don't have any questions.
Oh, well, that's nice too because there's that way you have the man list and everything from WizKids. I wouldn't mind playing with the rock maps if they didn't have the egregious ones.
So then I just took them all off. I just
it's just easier that way.
That's it. And then also we'll have our maps too.
Yeah. So that's good. Other than that, the Open Series site, you guys saw it. You guys can check it out. If you guys have a venue, like you said, that you want to try to run it at, go ahead and hit one of us up. Yeah, just message me like 4 a.m. I'll be right on it. No, you message me. I send it to Pat.
You can message, but if you answer at 4 a.m, that's on you.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm trying to think.
The actual site for this will be updated daily until we have everything up.
Yeah,
because
I think there still might be minor changes to some of the stuff too.
There will be a lot of things that I'm going to add, like the co-main event and stuff, and just for venues that are like kind of on the edge, on the fence, I can write a little bit more of like how it benefits them and stuff. So that'll be like the organizers part, and that's what I have up right now is basically for the organizers.
Yeah,
I'm going to move it to another part where the front page will be for the players, but right now I have it as organizers because it's not really up for general consumption, but it will be soon.
Yeah, and if you like I said, if you have any like actual questions, concerns, why to run it, all that kind of stuff, what we can do to help, with judging, all that stuff. Actually, something that Nick and I were talking about when we were talking about it the other night. I really think we should put like a little judges packet in there to help them.
No, that's what we'll do. Also, we're gonna have to go over, and if maybe we'll go over this together too, is look up some basic rulings for Majestix, and I'll put it up in the rules forum so that they can just access that anytime.
Yeah, like where Alex gets all his stuff from. If we had like that all printed off, put it in a folder, and help them out, and so they have references.
This is basically like an FAQ for the rules.
Yeah. Because it is different. Alex has gone back and forth on a couple of things too, because it's, what's that?
5%.
Oh, so anyway, guys, this has been a great episode. I've really enjoyed hanging out with all of you. And Pat, finish this out.
When everybody starts playing these WizKids, also in our events.
Oh, shit. You have 5%.
I know. What in doubt? Flexi attack.